brand new Village Vice.
Yes.
He is Zach Blackerby. He's in Auburn. I'm Brad Law. I'm in Nashville. Basketball's in Nashville. Baseball's in Nashville. Basketball takes on South Carolina today. Zach, we're pumped up. We're fired up for sure.
This is March. It's what we all say. This is what you play all season for, is for good positioning for this tournament and good positioning for the tournament that starts next week. And look, if you're not going to win the conference, get a top 4 seed so you don't play until today. You don't play until Friday. And that's what Auburn did. Auburn did. They found a way to get that top 4 seed. And now with South Carolina beating Arkansas handily, by the way, that was not fun to watch. Kind of predictable, but I think we were all kind of hoping Arkansas would win because I think it's a better matchup. I still think they're both good matchups in Auburn's favor, but I would have rather played Arkansas than South Carolina. But you play a team that had to play yesterday. We'll see if Auburn can benefit that and use so much depth and just be relentless and be too much for South Carolina to handle this afternoon.
You know, they have the first 2 times Bruce Pearl and Lamont Paris teams have gone head-to-head. Last season in Columbia, this season in Auburn, it's just been a runaway Auburn win. The matchup favors Auburn. Now, I'm not enough of a basketball X and O expert. My ego's not so big that I think I'm an expert in everything. So I can't tell you exactly what it is about the matchup. But something about the stuff that South Carolina runs and the defense that they run, that Auburn's stuff has been really good against. They've been susceptible to big men on the inside. They have a terrific freshman big man on the inside in Murray Boyles, but I just think that, you know, it's Janai Broome and it's Jalen Williams, and those guys are motivated. Apparently South Carolina had a little bravado after their win over Arkansas yesterday, and they were talking a little bit, and that got the Auburn players' attention. So,
interesting. I missed this.
Yeah, no, look, they're confident, and they should be confident. I never want to say, take the confidence away from sport. Take trash talking out of sports. It's fine. If you're confident, be confident. Say you're confident.
If you think, just know that the receipts are a real thing, and we'll see if we need to pull them out or not.
Right.
That's fine. And you know that when you're doing it. You know that that's part of it. But look, I see where South Carolina is coming from, though. I mean, think about it. There was a time where they led the conference for a good chunk of the season, and you know, as the season went on, I think they got exposed a little bit, and Auburn was kind of the first team to really put that on them. And there's been others since then, but this is a South Carolina team that has outperformed what all the metrics and analytics said that they should do. And so I think it's Ken Palm that says they lead the all of college basketball in luck, in the stat luck of them overachieving and just things going their way over the course of the season. And if you're a South Carolina player who's working their tail off and saying, no, we're overachieving because we're putting the work in and we're capitalizing and making the most of these moments, I'd be ticked off too. So hats off to them, but we'll see if it really matters this afternoon.
Yeah, our good friend Damian Fishback likes to say luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and that's what South Carolina's had. Specifically,
did he come up with that? I feel like that's been around for a while.
Probably. I just said he likes to say it. I didn't say our good friend Damian Fishback invented the phrase.
Okay. All right.
But he likes to use
I like Damian Fishback. We can give him the phrase if you want. I'm cool with it. I
would love Damian Fishback to come on this show, quite frankly.
Sure.
So I think it'd be great. But South Carolina specifically was talking about how they lost by 40 at Auburn, and one of the players said, well, they don't have the jungle here.
Well, that is true. I mean,
well, kind of. I mean, they have the North Jungle because there's going to be a ton of Auburn people there at this
Auburn
game.
People love going to Nashville, man. They love it. Yeah. We saw it when Auburn football played at Vandy earlier this week. I know a lot of people just looking on social media. I mean, I think there's going to be more Auburn fans than South Carolina fans. Will it be the jungle? No, it won't be.
Right.
It won't be. Will it feel like an Auburn home game? Possibly. It might. I imagine Auburn to be one of the more well-represented teams in the Southeastern Conference at the tournament this weekend, and hopefully Auburn pulls it out. To me, Brad, we talked about it on yesterday's edition of Village Vice. We talked about it before. We were talking about this matchup before we knew it would be South Carolina. We probably guessed it would have been South Carolina over Arkansas.
Yeah.
I think most people did for sure. And so I don't think it changes anything. This game is about Auburn. Sure, South Carolina is the other team in this matchup, but if both teams do what they're capable of, Auburn wins, and Auburn takes care of business.
Yeah, the depth is a factor, especially against a team that played yesterday. And South Carolina likes to wear you down defensively. Their first priority is on defense. And can you do that as well if you've played a game? Can you be in the right spot defensively? Can you fight through a screen? Do you lose a half step or a fraction of a second going under a screen as opposed to fighting through? And does that give Denver Jones a chance to hit a shot, or Aiden Holloway or Chad Baker-Mazara, these guys on the out that are taking outside shots? Are they going to hit them because you've given them an extra, half second or a little bit more space? Those are the kind of X and O's things that come into play today. I love from the motivational perspective, like you're going to have a ton of Auburn fans here for sure. The neutral fan is probably going to root for South Carolina because they're the feel-good story and because they don't like Bruce Pearl. Let's call a spade a spade. There's a lot of anti-Bruce sentiment because people don't like the success that he had at Tennessee and now at Auburn. And they think he's a character, which is silly. I get it, though. Anyway, point is.
If you don't know him, I can see why people would think that.
If you don't know, yes, agreed. Yeah. So, with that said, nobody better at motivating. Nobody better at finding motivational tactics. And I think you have 3 today that he'll use. Number 1, us against the world. This is the SEC Coach of the Year. This is the SEC Coach of the Year. We beat them in our place. That doesn't mean anything here. The team itself is a motivating factor.
Sure.
The biggest motivating factor, I think, is not even NCAA tournament seeding, because I think that is something they'll talk about. I think the biggest motivating factor is the chance to win a championship. Bruce is big on a chance to win a championship. They could not do that after losing to Tennessee. Now you got a chance to chase it. Somebody asked me in an interview earlier this week, do you think really deep down Bruce would be happy to lose and go home and get ready for the tournaments? Absolutely not. They want to win a championship, and they can. Nobody is invincible in this tournament is another takeaway that I have from the last few weeks of the season. Kentucky lost to LSU on the road in the last month. We saw Florida lose in its final regular season game to Vanderbilt. Alabama's obviously not. Tennessee lost to Kentucky. Auburn's not invincible. Nobody is invincible, and that will be a motivating factor for this team today.
I've got a question I want to ask you, and we'll wrap up the show with that. But first thing, speaking of invincible, Brad.
Yeah. Speaking of invincible, we're going to Manscaped right here with Invincible.
I think we should. I think
we should too. I don't even have a script. I'm just going to talk about this off the top of my head here. It's St. Patrick's Day season, and you don't need the luck of the Irish when you have Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, use promo code VICE, get 20% off and free shipping. Make sure those Blarney Stones are shined and smooth and ready to be put on display this St. Patrick's Day. Go to manscaped.com, use promo code VICE. Make sure you look for the promo code box, put in VICE, V-I-C-E. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. People love hearing us talk about Manscaped. I promise you'll love using it even more.
All right, let's wrap up with this, Brad. Is all the pressure on Auburn right now? One, because like you said, the neutral fan is going to be pulling for the underdog. That's the way March works. That's the way postseason basketball works. I'm the same way. And they haven't won a tournament game, an SEC tournament game, since they won it, a few years ago. Is the pressure on Auburn right now? And also, if they win, does it all go away?
Yeah, that's a good question. You're talking about just in this game specifically.
I would think most of the pressure would be on this game because I think some of that goes away if they do win today.
Yeah, I mean, South Carolina got their first tournament win since 2018 last night or yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no pressure on them today. They lost by 40 in the regular season meeting. So if they lose again today, so what? They're in the NCAA tournament. They're not going to improve their seeding with a win. They're not going to hurt it with a loss. They don't really have anything to lose. Auburn, I don't think, hurts its NCAA seeding with a loss. Does it lose the chance to help it if with a loss? I don't know. Does it improve it with a win? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know that there's a ton of pressure, but I do think what pressure is there probably is with Auburn, if that makes sense. But this doesn't feel like a must win or if you lose it, you're just crushed.
Yeah. All right. Shorter episode. We just wanted to get something up before the game because we're so hyped. So, Brad, that about does it for today's show. And obviously, we'll recap everything from this weekend next week.
Yeah, we're getting close to 3,000, by the way, 3,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to War Damn Pods. The show is Village Vice, but the channel is War Damn Pods. Make sure you subscribe to that.
Please.
We definitely appreciate it. All right. Everybody has vices. Don't let them tell you they don't. Everybody has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.